Good morning. I'm going to call the House Judiciary Committee to order. Madam Clerk, will you please call the attendance?
Chair Lightner.
Here.
Representatives Begol.
Here.
Wozniak.
Here.
Harris.
Here.
DeBoyer.
Here.
Johnson. Here. Schuette.
Here.
Carter.
Here.
Hope. Here. Green. Present. Scott. Present. Madam Chair, you have 11 members present. You do have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Rep. Wozniak moves to adopt the minutes from February 25th. Hearing no objection, the minutes are adopted. We don't have any absent members right now. We're going to proceed to voting today. We're going to do some voting, and then we're going to have testimony from Representative Schuette in just a few moments. And we do have to keep it kind of short. We're on a kind of a tight timeline this morning, just so everyone is aware. And with that, we are coming to the first bill, House Bill 4949 by Rep. Wortz. Rep. Harris moves to, oh yeah, just a moment. Okay. We did already have testimony on these, so I'm going to go back for a second. I have to read in these cards because I'm getting ahead of myself. Written testimony was submitted by the Congressional Sportsman Foundation in support of House Bill 4949, and they did submit it already to the clerk. Not wishing to speak and opposing the bill, Mitch Elbers of the Michigan Association for Justice. Not wishing to speak, opposing the bill, Judy Allen of the Michigan Township Association. Okay, now with that, we're going to have Rep. Harris move to report House Bill 4949 with recommendation. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Chair Lightner.
Yes.
Representatives Begol.
Yes.
Wozniak.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
DeBoyer.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Schuette.
Yes.
Carter.
No.
Hope. No. Green.
No.
Scott.
No.
Madam Chair, you have 7 yeas, 4 nays, 0 pass. The motion prevails.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next up, we are coming to House Bill 5157. Where is it? I was just double checking. I don't think so. It's my understanding right now, Rep. Breen has an amendment to House Bill 5157. Rep. Breen, would you like to move and speak to your amendment?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This is actually really pertinent and applicable to the set of bills. This is to tie bar House Bills 4166, 4167 to these delivery of drugs causing serious injury bills that Rep. Kuhn has. Xylazine, we heard testimony from the Sheriff's Office in Oakland County. They support these bills. Xylazine is now being found in almost every fentanyl sample in Michigan. It is causing serious and irreparable injury. These bills work hand in hand with the seriousness that Rep. Kuhn is addressing in his bills as far as delivering drugs that will cause harm to another individual. And I would encourage everybody on the committee to support this amendment.
Do you want to move your amendment?
I move to adopt the amendment.
Madam Clerk, Rep. Breen moves her amendment, known as Amendment 1, to House Bill 5157. Will you please call the roll?
Chair Lightner.
No.
Representatives Begol.
No.
Wozniak.
Yes.
Harris.
No.
DeBoyer.
No.
Johnson.
No.
Schuette.
No.
Carter.
Yes.
Hope.
Yes.
Green.
Aye.
Scott.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 5 yeas, 6 nays, 0 pass. The motion does not prevail.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. With that, we will have Rep. DeBoyer moves to report House Bill 5157 with recommendation. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Chair Lightner.
Yes.
Representatives Begol.
Yes.
Wozniak.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
DeBoyer.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Schuette.
Yes.
Carter.
No.
Hope.
No.
Green.
No.
Scott.
No.
Madam Chair, you have 7 yeas, 4 nays, 0 pass. The motion prevails.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next up, we have House Bill 5158. Rep. Schuette moves to report House Bill 5158 with recommendation. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Chair Lightner.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
DeBoyer.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Schuette.
Yes.
Carter.
No.
Hope.
No.
Green.
No.
Scott.
No.
Madam Chair, you have 7 yeas, 4 nays, 0 pass. The motion prevails.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next up, we have House Bills 5125 and 5126. I do have a card. Not wishing to speak supports the bills. Adam Majestic of the Detroit Regional Chamber. Rep. Harris moves to report House Bill 5125 with recommendation as substitute H1, which was previously adopted on February 25th. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Chair Lightner.
Yes.
Representatives Begol.
Yes.
Wozniak.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
DeBoyer.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Schuette.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
Hope.
No.
Green.
Pass.
Scott.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 9 yeas, 1 nay, 1 pass. The motion prevails.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next up, we have House Bill 5126. Rep. Johnson moves to report House Bill 5126 with recommendation. Madam Clerk, please call the roll when you get to it.
To report House Bill 5126 with recommendation, and the motion was made by
Johnson.
Chair Lightner.
Yes.
Representatives Begol.
Yes.
Wozniak.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
DeBoyer.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Schuette.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
Hope.
No.
Green.
Pass.
Scott.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 9 yeas, 1 nay, 1 pass. The motion prevails.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next up, we have House Bill 4582. Not wishing to speak, opposing the bill, Todd Tennis, negligence law section of the State Bar. Not wishing to speak, supports the bill, Jacob Manning Small Business Association of Michigan. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Ron Kendall, the Associated Builders and Contractors of Michigan. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Elizabeth Cutter, Michigan Health and Hospitals. Not wishing to speak, supports the bill, Mark Griffin, Michigan Petroleum Association. Not wishing to speak, supports the bill, Amy Upton, Michigan Nursery and Landscape Association. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Don Crandall, the Home Builders Association of Michigan. Not wishing to speak, supports the bill, Dave Wortham's, Michigan Manufacturers Association. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Wayne Colex, I think, Michigan Propane and Gas Association. Not wishing to speak, supports the bill, Drew Beersley, Michigan Retailers Association. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Rob Anderson of Michigan Farm Bureau. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Jack Treptoski, Michigan Restaurant and Lodging Association. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Scott Ellis, MLBA. Ed Ekoff, ICSC. Not wishing to speak, supports bill. Not wishing to speak, supports the bill, Amanda Fisher, NFIB. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Brian Schoaf, Detroit Regional Chamber. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Michigan Alliance for Legal Reform, Zach Rudat. Not wishing to speak, supports bill of the Michigan Chamber, Zach Rudat. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Michigan Bankers, Alex Morris. Not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Brad Ward, Michigan Retailers. And then I also have another one supporting the bill, Karen Johnson with Toyota, not wishing to speak. And then I think there's one more. And then not wishing to speak, supporting the bill, Michigan Catholic Conference. There is an H1 substitute for House Bill 4582. The substitute expands the bill's protections to invitees inside the premises, so it pertains to all occurrences on the property. In addition, the substitute also further limits the Michigan Supreme Court's ability to expand premise liability through adoption of the third restatement of torts, reasonable care standard, which focuses on the exercise of reasonable care under all circumstances rather than the current tiered standard, more closely based upon character of the person on the land, invitee, licensee, trespasser. With that, I will move the H1 substitute. Madam Clerk, will you please call for the vote?
Chair Lightner.
Yes.
Representatives Bagol.
Yes.
Wozniak.
No.
Harris.
Yes.
DeBoyer.
Yes.
Johnson. Yes. Schuette.
Yes.
Carter.
No.
Hope. No. Green.
No.
Scott.
No.
Madam Chair, you have 6 yeas, 5 nays, 0 pass. The substitute is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Rep. Bagol moves to report House Bill 4582 with recommendation as substitute H1. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Chair Lightner.
Yes.
Representatives Bagol.
Yes.
Wozniak.
No.
Harris.
Yes.
DeBoyer.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Schuette.
Yes.
Carter.
No.
Hope. No. Green.
No.
Scott.
No.
Madam Chair, you have 6 yeas, 5 nays, 0 pass. The motion prevails.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right, next up, we are going to take testimony with Representative Schuette on House Bills 5235 and 5236. Rep. Schuette, you can go to the table. Also with Rep. Schuette, wishing to speak and supporting the bill is Mark Marinin, who works with the IRS Volunteer Income Tax Assistance and Tax Counseling for the Elderly Programs. In Representative, once you're done, your guest is welcome to go ahead and speak. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. Appreciate the opportunity to testify in front of the House Judiciary Committee on House Bill 5235 and 5236. The reason for this legislation is the Department of Treasury has revised its interpretation of state law last year, which has hit a number of working class retirees in our state very hard. They are now paying significantly higher taxes on the homes that they had placed into living trusts for the purpose of simplifying inheritance issues between their children. Additionally, vacant lots adjoining to homestead properties that had been eligible for the principal residence exemption and homestead property tax credit for decades are no longer eligible due to Treasury's revised interpretation. House Bill 5235 will explicitly qualify homes that are owned by a living trust to claim the principal residence exemption and homestead property tax credit. And House Bill 5236 explicitly qualifies vacant lots adjacent to a home will be eligible for the same. Together, these bills restore how living trusts and adjacent lots have been treated in our state for decades for tax purposes and helps volunteer tax aides in our districts and across our state better serve working class retirees that are being directed by the department's recently changed reading of long-standing statute. And joining with me today is Mark Marinin, a constituent who works with the IRS's Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, VITA, and Tax Counseling for the Elderly programs, who will provide some more details. So, Mark, go ahead.
So the program that we help run is to serve low to moderate income taxpayers. Michigan has one of the lower average AGIs compared to sites nationally. And the reason is the credits, the property tax credit and the home heating credit. Other states that don't have similar credits, when people don't have a federal filing requirement, they just don't file. In Michigan, even if you only have a $1 AGI to federally file, people come to get their homestead property tax and home heating credits. As Rep. Schuette said, a couple of years ago, Treasury said, gosh, we had a a frequently asked question on our website, and it was wrong. And the question was, can I claim an adjacent vacant lot to my lot that the home is on for my homestead property tax credit? The answer on the frequently asked question page was yes, and they said now that we read the law a little closer, it really should be no. So we were then put in the position of being the messengers for the people who came in and saying, yes, I know you got to claim this for the last 25 years, but now you don't. And then similarly with the trusts, the way the law currently reads is it has to be a natural person. That law was most likely put into effect long before the whole you should have trusts to make things easier for your kids to inherit came along. And as Rep. Schuette said, we're just asking to make it clear that currently on the principal residence exemption, people can have things in trust and you can still have your primary residence exemption. The homestead definition is slightly different, and that causes us great difficulty when people say, but I have a primary residence exemption. And we say, well, but the law treats homestead differently from PRE. And we would just like you folks to help combine those so everything is consistent. Thank you.
How many people do you think we're talking? Like, how often does this happen?
So at this, the site that I participate in Midland, double digits but not triple digits. You know, we do about 1,500 returns in Midland. It's the largest tax aid site. I think Vita has larger sites in Detroit. So, you know, somewhere between 20 and 100.
And then do you, of the small sector that you do, what's kind of the average amount that we're talking about?
In terms of property tax credit?
Yep.
Well, the maximum would be 1,900. That's what the law is. I'd say average is somewhere around 400 to 500.
Okay. Okay, well, there's no further questions right now, but I do have another card. Not wishing to speak, supports the bills. Yes, bills. Madeline March. I don't know.
Mina.
I don't know. Mina from CDAM. Sorry if I wrecked your name. Okay, thank you. And that's that. No absent members, no further business before the committee. The committee is adjourned.